Podcast versus YouTube, which is better for entrepreneurs? Heck, these days, you could probably do both of them with just a smartphone. They're actually both really great options, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. Personally, I wouldn't run an online business without at least one of the two options that we're talking about today. So I have obviously this YouTube channel. I also host podcasts that reach over 700,000 people a year, and I'm about to tell you exactly what I tell my clients when they ask this question in this episode. All right, let's jump in. Welcome to Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs, where every episode is designed to help you run and grow your business in half the time. Oh wait, are you done? So you can move on to other things that give you purpose. Welcome to Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs, where we help you build a business with high leverage assets, two of which happen to be podcasts and YouTube channels. So I want to talk about, first of all, what's great about both of them, because either one can be a great choice for your business. Then I'll tell you what's better about podcasts, and then I'll tell you what's better about having a YouTube channel. So first, they're both really great because they're both what I call a high leverage asset, or an HLA. These are the things that we build our businesses on so that we can make more money in less time. In other words, be a done by lunch entrepreneur, or whatever that happens to mean for you. So a high leverage asset is something that may take a little bit more work in the beginning, and these will, but they're going to take less work as time goes on. And as the amount of the work goes down, the benefit of your work actually goes up. And in some cases, podcasts and YouTube channels can become so successful that even if you stopped publishing, they would still help grow your business. Both podcasts and YouTube channels are great for building your authority. When I started this YouTube channel, I think I'd had the channel for less than 2 months and probably 8 or 9 videos, and I started getting invited to speak on stage about something that I had never been asked to speak about before, simply because I was talking about it on YouTube, even though I had a tiny channel at the time. Podcasts and YouTube are also really good at building trust with your audience, your future clients and customers on YouTube, because video is kind of called the great trust accelerator, right? There's something about watching something on video that feels authentic and real versus a podcast, which someone is usually listening to, if they're listening to the audio version, by themselves with headphones on, which is a very intimate experience. So you can definitely build trust faster with either of these formats. They're also both great for generating leads because both YouTube videos and podcasts tend to be longer form content. And by longer form these days, I mean even 5 or 6 minutes an episode or per video, compared to 18 seconds for a TikTok or an Instagram reel. So that longer content, or in some cases, slightly longer content, is better for nurturing your audience closer to becoming a lead or a client. And they're both formats that you can incorporate your personality, your values, things like that into without taking away from the quality of the content, which makes them both great for building a personal brand if that's part of your business. So how do you choose one over the other? Well, I want to tell you what is great about each of them separately here in just a second. But if you have been curious about having both, a podcast that's also on YouTube, we've got a whole framework for how to build it. You can go to thenewwaytopodcast.com and sign up for a free class to learn everything about it. Now, here are 2 reasons podcasts are better, and 1 reason people think they're better, but I actually strongly disagree with, okay? First of all, podcasts are better for anything that is topical or time sensitive. One of the great things about YouTube is you put stuff on there and it can live on for years and years and years, bringing new leads and sales and views and all of that. But you can't go back and update a YouTube video later because you're promoting an upcoming launch or have something new to talk about or a live event. With podcasts, there's a technology called dynamic audio insertion. Sometimes they call it dynamic ad insertion. But if you have 100 podcast episodes, you can go back and add something to all 100 episodes promoting your upcoming course launch or conference you're putting on or speaking engagement or whatever else it might be. So podcasts are better for time-sensitive things. And then once that promotion is over, you can just take it away. Podcasts are also great for networking, especially if you do an interview show. You can meet a ton of people and mutually help each other out in your businesses and with your podcast. Now, you can certainly do that with YouTube. It's just not as common. And this is not universally true for all YouTubers, but I do find that in the podcast space, people tend to be more supportive of each other. And in the YouTube space, in some industries especially, people are more competitive. If you can see the sign on the wall next to me, I believe we all do better when we all do better. I believe the more we help each other out, the better we will all succeed. So podcasts are better for networking. Podcasts are better for promoting time-sensitive things. And some people will argue that podcasts are better because they're less work than a YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to disagree with this. Theoretically, right? You don't care about your appearance. You just roll in, you get your microphone, and you record. no video to worry about. But the truth is, these days with the modern tech and the AI tools we have, editing audio versus editing video can take about the same amount of time. But more than that, I've noticed that entrepreneurs who have an audio podcast end up going out and recording a ton of social media video content just to promote their podcast. So in a sense, both the person who is doing videos and the person who is doing an audio-only podcast are both recording about the same amount of video. Sometimes the audio podcaster is actually recording more video, or has to, than the person who's actually making video. I'm sure that not everyone agrees with me on that, but I really think that audio podcasts are not less work, or at least not as much as we might think before we kind of think it through. By the way, this is a podcast that you're watching right now, and we do have audio-only episodes. If you ever want to catch up on those to learn how to run your business in less time, you can go to donebylunchpodcast.com. And why is YouTube better than podcasting? 3 big reasons. Number 1, YouTube has built-in discovery. If you start a podcast and don't tell anyone about it, odds are it will sit there with 0 downloads for eternity. But if you start putting YouTube videos up and don't tell anyone about them, there's a good chance YouTube, assuming that they're good videos, is going to start showing them to people. So built-in discovery and growth is part of YouTube. Now, I'm not saying it's just easy. You put it up and YouTube will send you thousands of people. There's still more to the strategy, but beats the audio side where you just kind of have to promote it yourself in other ways. Another reason that you would choose YouTube over regular podcasting is because it's free to get started. Most of us can do it with just the smartphone that we already have, right? It's already a really high quality video camera, and it doesn't cost any money to have a YouTube channel or start uploading. Podcasting costs can be minimal, but generally you want to invest in a decent microphone, which, starts at $50 or $60. And usually you're going to pay for a podcast host, which can run $10 to $12 a month to start. Again, not a big expense for something that can do so much for your business, but financially, there is a lower barrier of entry for YouTube channels. And the third reason I think YouTube is better than podcasting for entrepreneurs is you have content to repurpose. You can take your YouTube videos, cut them up into YouTube Shorts, post those as Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, videos on LinkedIn, TikToks, all of these different things. When you start with a long-form video piece of content, you can turn it into so much more. And there's not many pieces of content that you can do it with as easily as you can with YouTube videos. So what are you thinking? YouTube channel or podcast? Let me know, along with any follow-up questions you have down in the comments. And if you want to learn all about how to do an audio and video podcast that also performs on YouTube, I've got that free masterclass. Just comment both, because you want to do both audio and video podcasting, in the comments down below, and we'll make sure that you get the info.